Well, hi, everybody. Todd Nash, President of Oregon Cattlemen's Association. I'm here today with Andy VanderPlaat. And Andy, congratulations, first of all, on being nominated for the treasurer position of OCA. And I want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself to people that may not know you or may not know you as fully as maybe you'd like.
Well, thanks, Todd. I appreciate it. And I look forward to hopefully being elected as treasurer again. Been doing that for a little over a year, I guess, So finally figuring out exactly what the job entails. It takes a little while to get familiar with everything, but I guess my background is my primary work. I grew up in the Willamette Valley. We always had a few head of cows around, and worked for Farm Credit Services for about 40 years, primarily in the finance area. So I feel like that's a pretty good background for this treasurer's position. We live in Pendleton. We've been here just about 30 years, own a small place, still have we run a few yearlings, and then our family, our daughter and son-in-law run a fairly large cow-calf registered Angus operation and get to help with that periodically. So I'm retired now from Farm Credit and had a little spare time, so I thought I'd give it a shot at helping out as treasurer, since I think that's probably my best area of expertise. And it's been a good experience so far. So,
Oh, great. Thank you for that. Along with that, what are the primary, or not necessarily even primary, but the duties of the treasurer's position there?
Well, I think the main thing is to monitor and help manage the finances of the association. There's a lot of moving parts to OCA and its financial situation. We are in good financial condition, but that's my job, is to work with the executive director, Tammy, and the president, Todd, and monitor and then report the financial condition and those type of things to, one, the executive committee, and two, the board of directors. Also, another job is to chair the finance committee, which has to do with internal reviews and then budgeting. So we help develop the budget. And then that also entails doing an internal review of the association finances as needed. So those are the primary jobs.
Yeah. And then you mentioned it too, but as treasurer, you're part of that executive committee, and that has an important role as well. And so you want to describe a little bit about the duties there?
Yes, well, we have pretty frequent phone calls. I think the executive committee, the main job is to take a look at the major issues that we have coming up. So when we go to the board, we have an idea of where we want to be on those. And my capacity as treasurer, I guess I look at the financial end of that and the impact on the association. And then also when there's changes, when we've got something budgeted and something new comes up that we, like legislation, we need to support or not support, or those type of things, to inform the executive committee and then later on the board about the impact of that on the association, and then where we're at financially. I think the executive committee primarily, because it's smaller, has the opportunity to delve into some subjects in depth with a good knowledge, and then be able to go and present reasonable recommendations or whatever to the board when we have the bigger board in the meeting. So I think it's a privilege to serve on that executive committee and be involved with the real workings of the association.
Okay. Andy, ask you a couple of more random questions. What do you see as the biggest challenge for Oregon cattlemen in all sector of the cattle industry?
Well, I think the biggest issue is making sure that we represent the membership in, particularly the legislative and the regulatory front, plus some of the issues that affect our members. It's a big, there's a lot of things that impact us since I've been on the executive committee and the board. There's a lot of issues that you wouldn't think would impact our members as they do, but things like the minimum wage laws and all that for agriculture have huge impacts on our members, and it's our job to represent them there. And I think those are the type of things that are our biggest challenges going forward, is the regulations and that type and the legislation that comes out, because we're a small group in comparison to the overall state population and the industries for numbers, but yet the impacts that we have on our rural communities and that are very important. And so we need to make sure we're well represented and that we kind of stand together when we go talk to the legislature and our representatives. And I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges, is to make sure they get the message and understand the impacts, because if you live in Portland, you don't get what it's like to be in a smaller town like Pendleton, and then all of a sudden there's a new regulation or law there that impacts us in a very different way than the urban population. So I think that's really key right now.
Okay. And conversely, what do you see as the greatest opportunity?
Well, I think the greatest opportunity for the OCA is with our youth and with our membership, that we cattlemen and women tend to be an older population, and in the future we've got some succession and transitions that need to happen. And I think our best great opportunity there is to help these younger people hopefully move into the business and be successful, and to help the families and all of that make the transition. The cattle business is a family business. 93 or 4% of our operations are family owned. And I think that, to me, that's a very proud statistic. I mean, I think there's not many businesses that are in that situation in Oregon or in the United States. And I believe that that's the basic structure or foundation of our business. So we want to carry that on, and I guess that's our greatest opportunity.
Okay. What do you want to say just to OCA members that we really haven't covered here to this point, that you just want to express to them, and you just can freewheel any direction you want here, Andy?
Well, having been a member for 40 some years or more, I don't even remember how long ago, but I think the main thing is that we need our producers, all of our producers, to be members of their local associations and the OCA, and then to be active. I know time is very precious. I mean, cattle business is a 24/7 type deal. There's always something you need to be doing, regardless. But I think it's important that our members are active, especially in their local associations, and participate, because if we don't have that participation and that activity, we don't know what they're thinking and what's impacting them, whether it be wolves or economics or regulations. And there's so many little things that it may impact us on the local area that don't maybe on the statewide, but we need to know about that. And the only way we can find out from the OCA standpoint and to help is if they're active and they communicate with us. So I guess that's what the message I would say is, please join, and please let us know what you think and what you need, and and be active.
Okay. Well, that's it, Andy. We'll wrap this up. I really appreciate
Perfect.
you getting on here today. Um, Good interview, and look forward to seeing you at our annual convention that starts the 30th of November and runs through December 2nd. And we'll have hopefully a robust participation there, and votes for those that have been nominated. So,
Well, it's in my hometown, so we'll hope that it will be a very successful and enjoyable event. So
yeah,
Pendleton does know how to put on a pretty good meeting and a party once in a while too. So we sure hope everybody joins us.
yeah, I have loved having the venue there at Pendleton. For one, only being 2 hours away, but it seems like an appropriate place to have a cattlemen's convention.
Well, we sure appreciate having it here.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, have a good day, and we'll visit with you later.
All right. Thank you, Todd.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Okay.